What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shono 71, aka Digadulamite.
We're back, yo!
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 293 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And as usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Lover.
That's me.
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that gamer stepdaddy. I guess we can add World Traveler to that list.
Yeah. I
So what you been up to, man?
What have I been up to? Well, like they had said, I was a world traveler. I went to a couple of different places in Europe, UK specifically. I went to Scotland and the UK. So I had a great time in Edinburgh, in the city of York. Got a lot of chocolate, saw a lot of Scandinavians, Vikings. It was a lot of fun. Bought some comic books. Did not buy any video games. I restrained and did not buy any video games. However, I did bring my Switch and promptly did not play it. No, just kidding. I did play it. I played it a little bit. I did play it a little bit. But yeah, it was a great time. But I have missed all of you, so I'm definitely happy to be back. So yeah, that's me. Back in the place to be.
All right, and of course our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. How's it going?
Not bad, man. It's been a minute, but just been kind of just dealing with life, you know. I think if you haven't already known, I work for the U.S. government, and I'm having to work during this government shutdown. But otherwise, as everything's been like kind of A-okay. I had some time off of work that I had to work through, basically. So I'm not able to take any vacation leave or anything like that while the shutdown is going on. But I've been keeping myself busy. Just going out, watching movies, looking out. There's been a ton of Target clearance that I've been really happy with, that I've been keeping an eye on.
Real quick though, you have become quite the movie aficionado. Like, you're seeing movies almost every weekend, if I'm not mistaken, sir. Are you going to start reviewing them on the show? Are you going to be all like, the what is it? The Jabroni movie reviews, reviews.
No Jabroni movie corner or anything like that.
What? So. Why not? I think fans would love to hear your banter about the new movies.
Nah. Me and Kevin went to go see the new Chainsaw Man movie. So,
see, y'all out there living your best lives.
Try it.
Well, that's all we could ask.
You got it, man.
Indeed. So as usual, we're going to kick things off with what is always our first topic on the docket. We got a playlist coming at you. So I guess we'll kick things off with the World Traveler. Probably not a whole lot of gaming, but what have you been up to these past couple of weeks?
Well, since we've been gone, I've actually been playing a lot more than you would expect, to tell you the God's honest truth. Really? I've just been putting it out there and playing more games. One of the games I started playing was a game called Los Eidolons, Veil of the Witch. It is a roguelite strategy RPG, which is interesting because it's got like that, turn-based, you're going to move up, grid-based combat like you would from a strategic RPG, but it's presented in a way in which you go down different routes to try to get to certain outcomes as you're trying to look for what's going on in this in this on this island that is cut off from reality. So it's actually pretty interesting. I didn't know what to expect from it. You get to choose from a guy or a girl, and you start out with 4 companions because you are stranded, and then of course an entity of death or something asks you to be her champion, and then you have to go and try to get through these different battlefields. And so far it's pretty good. You have 2 different weapon sets, and the weapon sets that you have grant you different moves, and you level up for the run, and then when basically you go into the world, and then as you die, you get resurrected by this witch, the veil of the witch, and you get resurrected, and then you get to keep certain things, and you get to press forward. So that's the roguelite aspect of it, but it's actually pretty good. Especially if you like conversational party kind of like deck. It's got that Persona sort of relationship building stuff too, but it doesn't look like Persona at all. Like it's much more I should say like a medieval type of stuff, but it's not too bad so far. You have your traditional wizard, rogue, barbarian, and you are a warrior, and you can either use a bow or a sword, and you can change depending on what you're doing. You can change your weapons, and then your loadout, like I said, and there's cooldowns for your moves, and so you can switch around depending on how you're going to engage your enemy. And then there's different things that you can do, like if you're in melee combat with someone, they counterattack when you hit them with a sword, they counterattack you, and vice versa. Well, a ranged person can counterattack anybody, which is kind of cool. So whether you're in range with them, or like in melee range or at range, they will hit you. They'll try to hit you at a counterattack. And then if you're a mage, you can't counterattack at all. So it's interesting where you have to position your people, and I'm sure there's going to be some. I have only played it a couple times, so I haven't gotten too far in it, but suffice to say, I'm really enjoying it, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely think that if you're looking for a new roguelite to try, it's definitely worth it. Also started playing Ball Pit or Ball X Pit, depending on what who you ask. The game is great. It is, what is it, Arkanoids? So it is a ball launching, and you ricochet, and it destroys these creatures that are coming down from the top of the screen. And you're moving your little guy, and you're picking up. It's another roguelite as well, and you're picking up stuff to level up, and you think that that's kind of it, but this game has so many different layers to it. It's crazy. There's like 16 or 19, I don't know. There's like a ton of different characters you can play as, and each of those characters have something different. There's stats. You level up your characters, and you're trying to go deeper and deeper into this pit because Balbalon was destroyed by a weird, giant circular, of course, asteroid thing, and created this pit, and you're going down in this pit, and you're playing these different levels, and it's crazy. I've been playing it nonstop for since I've been back, and it's been so much fun. And there's something about like ball breaking that just is so much fun. It's like, I played Bubble Bobble a lot, and I played Arkanoids a lot, and so those brick breaker games are just so much fun. And this one, and the types of balls that you get are really kind of cool. And then you can you level up your balls, and then you can combine them into newer balls, and you can evolve them into completely new balls. And it's just there's so many layers in this game that it's just crazy how much life is in it. And it's just so simple. Like it's just a simple ball breaker, but because they've added so much in the passives you get, and and everything that you can do with it is just crazy. And then there's like a farm element that you get. You unlock people who are trapped down in the pit, and they come up to your farm, and then you use them to do this gathering game where you bounce them off the different areas in the walls of the town that you're building. Just a fun and immersive game. It's fun, it's immersive, but it's just such a fun game, and you're always thinking to yourself, hey, I'm going to play another round, and then you can speed it up if you want to make it go faster. If you beat a level, you go to another level that's further down, and it gets everything's slightly different, but it's just great. It's just a really, really fun game, and a typical run will run you about 20 minutes. You can speed that up if you want, or you can increase the difficulty. Once you've beaten a level, you can play it again. You're encouraged to play your levels again because as you unlock characters, you get different blueprints for your town. So you are encouraged to go back and play those older levels with the new characters in order to get more new and interesting blueprints for your town. Such a great game. So such long legs on it. If you haven't played it, you should definitely pick it up. I think you would really, really, really enjoy it. And it just came out for Switch 2. A Switch 2 version just came out, and I'm honestly thinking about double dipping. I'm playing it on my PS5 right now. But I'm thinking about double dipping it and getting it for my Switch 2, that way I can play it on the go. It's just such a great game. Just such a great game.
Is the city building all that much? Because I know some people out there, I'm not a city builder. I don't like.
No, it's not. Really, it isn't. All you do is you have to you have to harvest wheat and wood and rock, and then you use that stuff to build stuff, and then you have to hit your. Seriously, like all your characters are your like farmers, and you just kind of you shoot them like you would a bubble bobble, and they bounce around different things, collecting different resources. So it doesn't take a long time. It's just a lot of fun. It's just so silly. It's just a great game. Just such a great game. So that's Ball X Pit, and so a couple other games before I kick it over to the other guys. And Joe and I have still. Sorry, I guess I'll say I'll move on to the other game that I've played by myself, and that was Arc Raiders. So yes, I actually bought Arc Raiders and I started playing it. It is a very, very fun game. I didn't think that I would have fun with it, but it's actually pretty fun. So this is a PvEVP game. And if you don't know what that is, you are a raider and you go into these maps. There's 5 maps so far, and there's different variations on the maps. And you basically go in and you try to get as much resources as you can and get back to the underground, to the base. That's the basic loop of the game, you know. And then you craft your weapons, or you can buy your weapons. You can craft your medical kits, or you can craft your kits. You can buy whatever you want, or you can craft whatever you want. And there's crafting tables that you can get. And you have a rooster or a chicken that after every run will give you resources just in case you didn't get anything. So the crux of it, though, is there's these things called arcs, which are giant and small robots that are trying to kill you, basically, on the field as you're running around. So that's the main antagonist, are these arcs, and the arcs are not to be played with. They can be pretty hardcore if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're just trying to go in there and just tackle them, they will swarm you and kill you, and can kill you if you're not careful, and if you don't take them out with haste. And then there's the other players, and so the other players is the PvP element. And what's been happening, which is very interesting, is you can either queue in to go in with 2 other randos and you work together, or you can queue in solo. The thing about queuing in with randos is they can revive you. If you queue in solo, no one can revive you. You're just SOL, like you're asked out. That's it, right? But you can come across other players in the world, and then you can decide if you want to engage them in combat or work together. And the sessions that I have played, and maybe it's just the map that I'm on, or because it's first, and I haven't really gotten too far in it, everyone has worked together or has said, you can say in your emote, don't shoot, and everyone has been working together to get back. It's really kind of interesting. So some people have chosen not to be aggressive and have worked together. And that has happened to me a couple of times now where I have not been murdered by anybody, which has been really kind of fun. And the cool thing about it is you get experience for everything you do. So if you're running with the squad and they open up something and they get all the gear or whatever's in it, you can open that too, and you will still get experience for opening it, even though you won't get the gear. So I think people realize that. So, and unfortunately, if someone dies, and you don't, you can take all their stuff, but you only have a small amount of inventory space too. So it's a weird kind of like fence that you're walking, and it can get a little sweaty when you're in the field and you don't know someone's going to shoot you or not. And you really kind of have to listen to the audio cues because you can hear like gunfire in the distance. And if you're looking over, you can see there are these drones that are flying around. And if they have like a green light, like I think it's a yellow light, it's a green light. They're just patrolling, and you can watch them patrol. They have pretty regular patrolling. But if they're alerted, their light turns yellow and they'll try to go to the sound of it. And if it's red, they are spotted and they will engage you. And you really have to take care of them or get rid of them relatively quick, or they will summon other people. And so I don't know. I've had fun with it so far. I don't know how long that is going to last. I haven't had anything that has made me want to rage quit, and everyone has been super chill. Everyone has been super chill. You can only talk to people in your group. That's why the emojis or emotes are really good because you can't talk to each other normally. At least I haven't been able to talk to anybody, though I don't try. I just use the emojis or the emotes. So it's been fun so far. I mean, I don't know. Joe was saying he was going to pick it up and play with me. I don't know. Maybe Goonie will. It is like the Dark Zone from Division. But it's 100% like all that. But I don't think people. I don't know. Maybe if people get bored with it or they start acting like assholes, maybe it'll have a bad reputation. But at this point, maybe because it's new, or the community is not really being aggressive with each other. I don't know. So I'm enjoying it so far. I think I'm gonna play it a little bit more. I'm enjoying it. So, and I like the community, and it seems like the people that are that have created it, know what they're doing. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and it's third person, which is great. It's not first person. And I know people are screaming like it's an extraction shooter. It should be first person. Blah blah blah. That's all this other stuff. And these are all people coming from like Battlefield, and they want to go in and they want to wreck shop and kill all these robots. But it's like, no, that's not the point of it. And some people are pissed about it. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm having fun with it. Let us know in the comments if you're listening on YouTube, or if you're a part of the Discord. Let us know if you're going to play it. I would love to go out with other people. I don't know about going out with Joe though, because Joe can be a little itchy finger. Officer Joe, might try to start killing people and picking fights, and I'm gonna have to be like, dude. So I don't know.
Get out of here with that crap. I could be a pacifist.
What?
Respect my authority.
Exactly. Rolling up there with the mustache on, with some shades. Some aviators talking about, this is my arc. But yeah, I don't know.
I did buy the game, but I haven't played it yet. So
what? You bought it? Well, I look forward to playing with you, and we'll see how it goes. So, Kev, you thinking about playing Arc Raiders? You arcing it? You arcing it
Hell
up?
no.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I don't want to be dependent on the kindness of others to have a good time.
Okay.
I honestly believe that is going to be one of the reasons why I don't think Art Raiders is going to have the legs everybody seems to think it does. I think people are just going to get tired of the betrayal aspect. Now, what I think they should have done, I've seen some gameplay of it, and the kind of like the PvE aspects look really kind of interesting, to be honest.
Mm.
But I think they could have divided that up the way Division did, where you would have, the Dark Zone equivalent.
Yeah.
Where you could go into those areas and maybe have some some high level gear that's only available there. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the fact that I'm running around and on the off chance that I kill a robot or look for something and get something that's really great, and I have to depend on the person that I'm rolling with not betraying me and shooting me in the back at their first opportunity.
Oh, no. The people in your well, I guess technically I'm not really sure though. That's a good idea. That's a good thought, because people that are rolling with didn't like. I don't know if there's friendly fire or not if you can kill people within your same squad. That's a good question. I don't know about that.
I mean, if you're going in there solo, because I've been watching. Yeah. There's a daily gaming talk show I listen to, and he's been playing it fairly often, and his experience was completely different from yours. He's going in there doing the what do they call it, the proximity chat, and he had been teaming up with people. And then at the end, when it's getting its extraction time, they turn around and shoot him in the back.
Oh wow!
Or they open fire. Or they open fire on him.
Wow!
And that I do not want my enjoyment of a game to be dependent on other people. So I think if they would have divided that up the way Division did, I think I would be more open to trying this game out. But the way it's set up now, I think I'm out.
Not for you, huh? All right, cool. Alrighty, so the other games that I've been playing, still playing Borderlands 4 with Joe when we get the time. I'm enjoying playing with him. I need to play with you more, Joe. I do hear you. And I need to kind of dust that off and start playing with you some more. So
I played with Kevin last night, and so I'm not sure if my Amon character is going to be over leveled now to play with you.
It's fine. So. I'm not gonna like gauge you. If you want to play Amon a little bit more, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just
I'm thinking level 22. So
yeah, I'm only like 19 or something. So feel free. Like you love the game. I don't want to stop you from playing and enjoying the game. So you play it, you enjoy it, and I'll hop in when I can. So the other game that it looks like all three of us have played is Absalom, and I just have really been enjoying that game as well. It is another roguelite, but it's a beat 'em up roguelite in which you basically pick one of two characters that are technically witches in a world in which all witchcraft or all magic is trying to be controlled by one creature or one entity or one person. And you are the last bastion that's trying to stop them, and the Earth Mother or something, in order to try to stop them. And I don't know how far you all have gotten, but Joe and I have played a little bit of it together, and I had a lot of fun. I thought the juggling was great. I thought the combos were great. I'm interested to open up the next two characters. I need to play it more. I like the hub area of it. I just really like the loop and the fighting aspect of it. I think it's one of the better fighting games that I have played in a long time, and it's just a lot of fun to open it up and unlock it. And I know people are getting tired of roguelites, but I think when the roguelites are offering a little bit different, and they're actually adding mechanics and story and the look of it to really make it, to really sell it, I really am liking that. I'm really feeling like, yeah, this is really cool. So I don't know about y'all, but that's how I'm feeling about it, and I cannot wait to play more of it. So I'm gonna kick it over to Kevin. What is your thoughts about Absalom?
So I like it. The thing I like about it is that there is a lot of combat expression.
Yeah.
You can cancel dashes. You can cancel moves into another. There's I opened up the I can't remember the character's name. It's a, I guess for lack of a better word, like a Pinocchio puppet, except it's an assassin.
Oh wow, I haven't got him yet.
And I think it's a she. It's got a female voice,
Oh,
but she's got like scorpion type moves where she's got some type of, she can eject her arm to grab and pull opponents to her,
oh
and
damn.
she's got a really easy infinite. Like if you can get a boss airborne, and it's like a 3-hit aerial infinite where you do 2 lights, 1 hit, 1 heavy, and the arm projectile, and you just keep repeating that. It's an automatic infinite.
Damn.
And there's a whole lot of combat expression in that game. I think my favorite character so far is still the dwarf.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, Joe
just
kicked
kind
my
of he
ass
just
with him.
like he just kind of just like punches stuff, just obliterates. It's like he's like a freight train just
I
running through
can't
stuff.
I can't stand him because of how short he is, and so because I don't think you play with other people that often, but when you play with other people, you can actually fight against each other. There's like an arena where you can fight against each other, and Joe and I were fighting against each other, and he was playing that little bastard. And he like I could not. It was just so annoying. It's like I couldn't I couldn't target him. I was just like, get out of here. It was funny, but Joe's kicking my
Yeah,
ass.
his I don't think he is combo heavy as the elf, but his whole thing is strength. So he's got good. He can clear out a lot of enemies in front of him. His special attack, that gun, that musket, and whatever it
Yeah.
is that he's got on his back, kind of takes everything out directly in front of him. So his crowd control is on point. I like the elf, but I don't know. I think I'll have to open up some more moves with the elf. But I think still my favorite character is the dwarf, though. I really like just kind of smacking dudes around. A lot of it sometimes, like a couple of the bosses that I've encountered, it was literally just his armor abilities that kind of got me through the fight. The puppet assassin is very light on defense, but is a combo fiend. Like she's even more proficient than the elf. So there's a whole lot of, and again, just I'll end it with in it here just from my viewpoint. I think this game's selling point is its combat expression. It's like literally,
Okay.
if you think of it, if you think, hey, I wonder if this character is capable of this, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably be able to do it. And there are some folks already on YouTube that are doing combo expeditions in this game that are just, they're getting 2, 3, 400 hit combos.
Jeez.
I mean, they're much further in the game and they've opened up different abilities, but there's some folks that are really laying it down. So I'll be going back to it. I think it's a really fun game. So it's definitely something that's going to be in my rotation for a while.
Joe, what about you? And yeah, what was your experience with that with me? Did you enjoy it?
Enjoyed it, yeah. It kind of gave me a lot of like old school, like Capcom D&D, like arcade game vibes, along with some Guardian Heroes mixed in on there. As far as the roguelike elements, I mean, I'm kind of curious as far as how it's going to progress and how you're going to get stronger over time on there. I only played it like the few rounds we played with each other online, and that was it, actually. So. But obviously, I was interested enough in the game. I bought the physical And so that's why I pretty much I didn't get it on the digital launch. I had to wait for the physical to get pressed and sent out to me. So I'll definitely try to mix it in with the rotation. So
Yeah, and it's like a 2-player game at least. And it's fantastic. I'm surprised it's not a 4-player game, you would think, but I mean, I've just been really enjoying it. It's definitely a game that we should all play again. Together at least. So that's all for me. So I'm gonna kick it over to Kev. Kev, what other games have you been playing, buddy?
Excuse me. I have been playing Helldivers 2. Still going back to that game. I looked at my hours. I am 294 hours into Helldivers 2.
Wow.
I didn't even really. I hadn't even realized how much time I've spent in that game, but it's just got a gameplay loop that keeps me coming back. So as long as it remains that way, I'll keep going. I'll keep going into it, and with my kind of my reduced game time, it has allowed me just to be able to just turn on my PlayStation kind of just before I go to bed, try and do a bug run or a bot run, and just kind of call it a night. But still a very fun game. They've got a new what do they call those things? A new pack. They call them something different. The name of it is escaping me right now. But they've got a new
a war pack or something?
Yeah, like a war pack coming. If it isn't out already, that is going to be kind of stealth based. So there's like silenced
Warbond.
That's what Warbond. Yeah, they got a silenced Warbond. They've got armor that doesn't make any noise when you run or walk. Supposedly has technology that allows you to not be seen or go into like a stealth mode when fighting the bots. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. So I kind of want to see how that Warbond turns out. But been messing a little bit with that. I went into 2XKO, and I like the game. I mean, I fell in love with the game, especially this past Evo, and me and EJ got a chance to play it. It was one of the funnest demos that I played next to Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But I'm going to put 2XKO down for the moment because playing on PC is just a pain in the ass. Every time, because this isn't through Steam, this is through Riot Games' own launcher. And every time they update something, and every time Windows updates, it just causes conflict on my PC for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the same way for everybody else doing that. For people that are used to or play exclusively on PC, this is probably just like they're probably saying, why are you tripping, dude? It's not an issue. I hate it because for like 15 minutes, and I didn't realize what the conflict was. There's a splash screen on the Riot Games launcher that says click here to play the 2XKO demo. And I could not figure out why that button was not clickable. And I'm going back and forth, going out of the launcher, going back in, going out of the launcher, going back in. And it was just like, bruh, I just want to play a freaking game. I don't want to. And then I found myself hopping on my phone and trying to look at message boards to what's going on, and I didn't see anything that was exactly fitting what was going on. And then I look and I check and I see that I've got Windows updates. I had something like 16 Windows updates in the background running. And I'm just like, you know what? No. This is coming to console I was enjoying my time with the game. I'm using my what do you call it? My arcade.
Your stick, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's arcade junk food. Yeah, my junk food arcade swirl controller, which is
The
keyboard.
leverless, right?
Yeah, it's a keyboard leverless controller at its core. And a game like 2XKO, keyboard is just magic because there are no uppercuts and fireball motions. Everything is directional. It's compass directional. So the WASD format is just brilliant, and I can do instant air dashes really easy, and I can do specials really easy. But I'm putting it down until this thing comes to console because I just loathe this aspect of PC gaming, and I think if this would have launched in Steam, it would have been a smoother experience. But Riot Games, and I'm not even necessarily blaming Riot Games launcher for this. I'm blaming Windows for this because every time I want to play, I've got updates in the background that are causing a problem. So I'm like, you know what? I'm good. This thing is supposed to come to console by the end of the year. I'll just wait until it drops on PlayStation, and then I'll get back into it. But I think it's a great game, and I think if your game on PC, if you're into fighting games, you game on PC exclusively, or you're used to PC gaming, I would highly encourage folks to check it out. It's a free-to-play fighting game, and it's a lot of fun. Played some Borderlands 4 with Joe. If I would have been able to get the physical version of this game, I'd probably take it back. I mean, it's fun, but it's not really.
Joe.
It's not really grabbing me. But the fact that it's digital, and the fact that I hate the idea of wasting money, I'm going to play through the game. But I'm only going to play it when I have somebody else to play with, because I run into difficulty spikes running solo that are just really frustrating. Now, granted, I'm not used to first-person shooters in general, so that could be a big part of it. FPSs are not a part of my regular gaming rotation. But, the humor is what it is. I think the thing that I find most disappointing is that I have been getting nothing but junk-ass weapons since I've been playing this game. I think the weapon loadout that I have right now, I've got a shotgun that has a secondary fire that's pretty dope, that shoots out sticky bombs, and you reload or switch modes to make them explode. That's probably my heaviest damage weapon that I have right now. I've got an auto shotgun that's kind of dope, and I've got a charge assault rifle that's okay, but even my heavy weapon is just kind of trash, to be honest. And it's just like every time I complete a side quest, every time I do a story option, and I wonder if I'll get something good, everything is ass. I mean, like straight booty butt cheeks in the drops. And
you are burning his soul, Kevin.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's like
Burning my soul.
For a game that builds that one of the things that it's built itself upon is all this great gear and all this great loot. I ain't getting jack shit, and it does not encourage me to play the game on my own time. But if I'm on and I'm kind of like not really, wanting to play anything else at the moment, and I see y'all on, I'll hop in and play it then. But I got it. As soon as I complete the game, it's getting deleted. It's like I'm 100% good on that, but I just refuse to let money go to waste. So I am going to finish it and play through it once and say, okay, I have played a Borderlands game and to completion and call it a day. Been watching a lot of anime. Watched the Chainsaw Man movie with Jabroni. That movie was fantastic. I about 2 weeks before this movie came out, because I had tried to watch Chainsaw Man before on Crunchyroll, and it just didn't grab me. I watched like the first 2 episodes, and really you have to give it, and it's not a long series. You can get caught up to it. You can get caught up to the point of the movie within a weekend, I think.
Well, that's not bad.
I'm glad I went back because Chainsaw Man has some of the best character development in a Shonen Jump series that I think I've ever seen. There are some very interesting and unique characters. Makima is not to be effed with whatsoever. She is not. She does not play. Denji is anime's biggest simp, but he's still a likable character, and I can't really blame him because he just got a raw deal. It's the reason he's in the situation anyway is his parents ran up an absurdly high debt with the Japanese Yakuza. So basically they sold him to them. He had been selling off body parts to try and pay off his parents' debt. And now, because there's this incursion of what they call devils, they're not devils in any kind of faith order or religious sense. They are just basically sentient monsters. These devils are just kind of injecting themselves into human society. And Genji becomes friends with Pachi. That's not his name. It's Pachi-kun, something like that. And he's like he looks kind of like a cross between a Chihuahua and a Pokemon, but he's got a chainsaw sticking out of his nose. He's like he's kind of vampiric, so he kind of like munches on Denji's arm a little bit, but not drawing too much blood. And that is his devil hunting partner, and they're working together to help pay off his family's debt. He gets betrayed by the Yakuza, and in his dying breath, Punchi tells him that he will give him his true power in exchange for him to live the life that he's always wanted, because Denji was like the first entity to show him kindness. What Denji doesn't know is that Pucci is like Super Saiyan Goku level in the devil world, apparently. And all the other devils want to kill him. I'm assuming because they want to take his spot. I haven't read the manga. But when he does, he becomes Chainsaw Man. And it's like, you have to give it a couple of episodes to really gel. You would think a character that chops up people into bloody chunks would be right in my wheelhouse. But the first time I tried to watch it, it just didn't gel with me. I went back again when I saw that this movie was coming out. And I'm glad I did. It's really good. And again, in the movie, Makima is not to be effed with. Just that woman is scary. And even the villain in the movie it's like nah. She's obviously got another agenda at play here that I'm really interested to see how it plays out. The other anime that I've been watching is called Gachiakuda. Gachi Makuda. I'm butchering the name. It's on Crunchyroll. If you jump to Crunchyroll's new or what they call that new or current releases, it's going to be in that lineup. Very interesting art style. Kind of like a if you're familiar with My Hero Academia, where like faces and limbs are heavily exaggerated. Gachiakata is very much in that similar art style, but even more so. They pay a lot of attention or have a lot of exaggeration in characters' faces and their hands. So a lot of big hands, a lot of big expressive eyes, but the story is really good. It's about this kid named Yudo, whose father has been executed because he's been accused of murder. He lives in kind of like this dystopian world where there are these upper level people that live in this place called the Sphere, and he actually lived in the Sphere too. But then there are these people that they live their name, their tribe literally translates to trash. And they serve as kind of like menial labor, not necessarily almost a slave class to the upper levels. And what winds up happening is that Yudo is framed for the murder of the person who was taking care of him, and he's tossed into this area called the pit. And the pit is where they have these giant monsters literally made out of trash that try to eat anything that moves. And it's about him trying to survive down there. He meets this team that they call themselves the Givers. And Givers get their energies from enchanted objects. And Yudo has an ability to pull out the maximum, I guess you could say, maximum potential of an object. And it just makes him super overpowered, but he doesn't really know how to control it yet. And it's a great show. Trigger warning: they do address very not very dark tones, but a specific dark tone that is with regard to child molestation.
Oh.
But they do it in a way that you understand what has transpired, but it just makes you feel for that character. Really good, really, I don't know how. Yeah, just stellar writing. Just some stellar writing for that whole arc. And so I just wanted to say that definitely a trigger warning in there for that. You know what transpired. They don't show anything graphic, but you understand what has happened to this particular character, and you understand why this character is responding to the world the way that she does. Some of the best writing I've seen, and I think this is a Shonen Jump joint too, which is crazy because Shonen is usually known for like the Naruto, just believe in yourself and you'll be able to beat anybody type of thing. But they've just been really getting really deep with some of these. Gachiakata also has black people in it, and I don't mean like tanned garus that wear black type fashion. I mean straight up Negro type folks. And they're actually leading the group that Yudo joins up with. And it's something that you just really don't see in anime. They're not. It's not. They're not stereotypical in any way. They are very deep and important characters to the story. And color me surprised. I definitely was not expecting that. And I'll finish up here. Ghost of Yote is freaking phenomenal. It is. I'm not prepared to say how I feel it stacks up against Tsushima, but Yote is absolutely stunning. Some of the best graphics I've seen on a console. I know I said that about Horizon Forbidden West. I think these are just as good, and in some ways even better than Forbidden West's graphical prowess. Super smooth frame rate, story that's really good, kind of gripping. Do not believe the Chud storyline. Etsu is not a girl boss whatsoever. She gets her ass handed to her a lot, primarily because she's a woman in a world that is dominated by fairly large and skilled men. Now, can she hold her own? Yes, she can. But when in cutscenes, when she's dealing with multiple dudes coming at her, yeah, she gets mollywopped, and her abilities to overcome men. When it's her against multiples, it actually kind of sort of makes sense. I'll just say that a lot of it is you got to use stealth in some areas, which I don't mind. Stealth and me usually mix like water and oil, but if you get seen, the fact that she can pick up weapons on the ground and just chuck them at people and do insta kills, that goes a long way. And when you utilize the tools in your toolbox that the game gives you, it creates a combat experience it's really enjoyable, I'll say. And lastly, I've been playing Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't know what to say about Ninja Gaiden 4 exactly. Is it a bad game? No. It's a good game, but it's weird. Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden Black 2, or actually Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, going back to the original names on the original Xbox and I guess on the Xbox 360. It's weird that Ninja Gaiden 4, I was expecting better graphics. This Ninja Gaiden 4 just does not have the graphical, I don't know, design. I don't know if it's design, if it's appeal. I'm not really sure, but it something does not. It does not feel like it doesn't look like a Ninja Gaiden game. I'll say it doesn't look. Does it play like a Ninja Gaiden game? Yes, it does. The camera is probably the best behaved it's ever been in the series, at least in my opinion. I have not played with Ryu Hayabusa yet. I've been using Yakimo. I find it interesting that the usual complainers about modern games are not bitching about the fact that you're playing as Yakimo in a game that has always had Ryu Hayabusa as the primary protagonist. It's funny how nobody has a comment now. Yakimo is pretty interesting from a control perspective. He starts out, he uses dual katanas, but he has this ability called Blood Raven, which allows him to break through blocking opponents. He also gains additional weapons and what they call his ninja kit, which includes like hammers, he's got one that's like a rocket propelled hammer. He's got a giant shuriken, a couple other things. I haven't got those weapons yet, but it's great. But I think my only other complaint about the game is that the targeting is not it did not grow with the scale of the game. What I mean by that is Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, you had 4 or 5 enemies on the screen at a time, and I was never at a loss for being able to target the right enemy. In Ninja Gaiden 4, you can have like 7 or 8 dudes on the screen at a time, and sometimes the enemy that you have targeted is not the one that you need to be dealing with. Sometimes the enemy you need to be dealing with is not the one that's closest to you. You got a dude way at the end of the arena who's lobbing missiles at you. You got to deal with him first. Then you can deal with everybody else. And I found myself really kind of struggling with the targeting. There are 2 selections that you can do. You can do auto targeting, and then there's another option that is target last attacked. I found that target last attacked seems to work the best because it seems like you can switch targets a little bit easier than the other way, which the computer almost kind of fights you on what enemy you want to target first. And when you're dealing with ranged enemies, that really, I found myself dying because of that more so than the fact that of enemies killing me. I am playing on the hardest skill level available, which is how Ninja Gaiden should be played. But I do understand why they have a difficulty select for this. For
people
those
like me.
who are, yeah. Although I will say, I don't even know if playing on normal is really going to be of any help to you, because some of these enemies, and I'm not very far in the game, some of these enemies will kick your butt. It's like if you're going in, you got to know when to switch to Blood Raven. You got to know when to address crowds coming in. You will be attacked on multiple directions while you're fighting a boss, so you have to be constantly aware of that. That does not change when you're playing on normal. I think it just affects how much damage is done. So, to be honest, I think if you find Ninja Gaiden gameplay to be frustrating, I don't know if switching difficulty levels is going to make it any better. I don't know. Just from what I've experienced in the gameplay thus far. But I'm liking it. I'm digging it. I just wish it was a better looker. And yeah, I'm comparing it to what Itagaki did, and the kind of like the bar that he set with that series. It just doesn't look as good, but it's a good game, and it's I don't know. It's like it's a much better effort than 3 by all. It is infinitely better than 3. But it is, and I think it plays very well. It plays quite good, but I wish they would have updated that targeting, and I wish they would have cleaned those graphics up, baked those graphics a little bit more. But that's kind of what I've been up to these past couple of weeks, so I'm going to hand it over to Jabroni Chief.
All right. First thing off, I'd say rest in peace, Itagaki. He did pass away, 58 years old. I think he had an aggressive form of cancer, actually. So, kind of feel bad for him. But, you got to give credit where credit's due for Ninja Gaiden. So, yeah, for Team Ninja, of course. So, as far as what I've been up to and playing, pretty much I've been really just diving down and playing a lot of Borderlands 4. So I have 99 hours in the game now. I beat one of the main 4 bosses, which I beat Idolator Saul on here. So I'm making my way up on the map as far as up in the upper regions, and kind of introducing myself to the bosses up in that those particular factions up there. So Idolator Sol is like the first boss that kind of you kind of interact with in the game on there, and then afterwards, then obviously you're more interacting more with the Timekeeper a little bit more, and you're following the storyline of the Crimson Resistance at least a little bit more too as well. So there's like some faction quests for Crimson Resistance that you could do that kind of help you at least build as far as the ship to get off of that particular planet in Borderlands 4. So, I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. I mean, it's enough to where, and I know, Kev, I kind of feel like maybe you could have a breakthrough with this game. It's just the point that I think it might be something that you can do as far as following some build guides for Rafa. I'm following a build guide myself as far as to stack the particular powers in the skill tree on there. What I'll also encourage you to do too is to, go on social media for the shift codes and get some shift codes so you could get some golden keys and get some like legendary guns and items on there, because I basically with Rafa I go and obviously I'm scouring social media, looking at Gearbox's account, Randy Pitchford's account, and they do drop about, I say, give or take about maybe 6 or 7 keys a week on there, and by opening up using the golden keys to open up the chest, you get like some legendaries that will help you out. Now, I use a key like every maybe like 5 levels with Rafa, and so I'm not per se I'm hoarding the keys, but I want to still use them as I progress as far as levels in the game.
I have tried that. For whatever reason, my Gearbox account, it errors out when I enter a code. It says you need to confirm your email. I check my spam and I check my inbox, and they do not send me an email. So I'm in like this perpetual loop. So I can't use the keys. I did try that. I tried that fairly early on. For whatever reason, my account with Gearbox does not work, and I don't want to go through the hassle of creating a new one. So. Yeah, I tried. So I'm stuck with the trash they give me.
I'm just laying it out there. Yeah, it's pretty easy because all you have to do is once you create a Gearbox account, is link your PSN account, and you're pretty much in like Flint. So
I did that, and it's not working.
Got it. And otherwise, like I've been looking for clearance, so I've been pretty successful. I picked up a new noise canceling headset. I picked up a Sony WH-1000 XM5 on here, so I never really got a closed back headphone with noise cancellation. I kind of feel like after I picked this up, this is normally a $400 headset that I bought it for $120 at Target. It was on 70% off clearance, and I was hemming and hawing about it. I decided to grab it, and I've been using them at work for like maybe the last like week and a half, and having noise canceling, especially sitting at a work spot. I sit right next to the break room, so I'm always hearing the fridge and hearing the hum and whatnot. And you'd be surprised. I guess one point of these headphones is that it's really good for noise canceling. It's one of the best noise canceling headsets out there, and so I pretty much throw that thing on, and I'm just working like a SOB. But otherwise, yeah, no, just for games, I do definitely want to get to my backlog. I've been picking up some new games here and there too as well, because it's been a busy fall release schedule on here. But I'm looking to get back into an RPG. I'm going to play some Dragon Quest XI again. Kind of dropped that off like about a month and a half ago, and I haven't gone back to it on there. I also want to get something on the Switch 2 going, because I haven't really used it all that much. So, but pretty much it's just been kind of Borderlands 4. It's just been something to where I've just been enjoying the gameplay on there. I definitely recognize your problems with the game though, Kev, because I was telling you last night, it seems like you just get a lot of like basic level, like normal level loot and I usually judged by by the color tiers. I usually go for at least purples, which are like rare first, and then obviously legendaries if they drop, of course, as well. So
Yeah.
And I was debating because I know Desmond in the past he has changed some of the settings to make sure that like common loot doesn't show up. I kind of like hoovering up everything so I could get money, but I kind of found that the vending machines in Borderlands 4 are really not all that helpful on there. They do have a special of the day at each vending machine that sometimes I was able to pick up a legendary shield that I was using for a while. And this noted shield is kind of something to where it's kind of notorious in the Borderlands 4 like community as far as people posting about it, because this shield talks basically all this like it's a sultry shield. It talks dirty talk to you on here. It's like, oh, do it again, and like stuff like that. So it's like, and there's no way to turn the voice clips off the shield as far as turning it off in game and all. So it's just, after a while, it just became so annoying. It kept chirping while I was listening to dialogue in the game when I was in a cutscene, for God's sake. So it's like, so it got up to the point where people online were recommending that you turn off all enemy voices, and that will actually reduce the voice on the shield. Because, it's just like the shield's just sitting there going, all these double entendres like left and right, like you would get one every like 20, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And so it just became just too much, even though that shield just kicked all the ass of the ass as far as when I bought it on there. But with this, they've been patching the game pretty frequently, and so this most recent Halloween patch that dropped kind of cut the banter from the shield down quite a bit, so I was kind of thankful. But I'm up to a point, I think that shield was like level 35, but pretty much push forward, and I stopped using the shield for now. So I will take a sultry voice clip maybe every minute or two. That's tolerable in my mind. I just try to tone it out, but I wasn't being seduced by the shield. I can tell you that right now. So
shield seduction.
You got it. I don't know, because it's typical Gearbox humor. They had a similar shield in Borderlands 2 and 3 on there, where it's just
wasn't this supposed to be the mature Borderlands, or the humor had matured apparently?
Yeah, well, they toned down some of that humor, and they have toned down some of that humor, because Borderlands 3 was almost insufferable as far as like the tone of a lot of the like characters and whatnot, like Vaughn. Mr. Captain Underpants himself, he was like walking around Pandora with a pair of underwear and walking around showing off his hairy man chest, all this other stuff. So it's kind of, I would appreciate the tone. It's a little bit darker, but some of the side missions are, whimsical at best. I know last night, Kev, we played that Claptrap. Any Claptrap mission is going to just be just a whole lot of, clap. But I was making comments to you that I felt like that one Claptrap mission we were on kind of pulled my heartstrings just a tad, because Claptrap was sad because he lost all his friends in Pandora and is on this new planet and pretty much is looking to try to get over things and whatnot. So you kind of say that maybe someone that lost some family member or whatnot, and even though it's in the whimsical, stupid quest that Claptrap gives you, at least you could kind of see the kind of nature of the writing in this game. Or we did a side mission, me and you, Kev, about that missile that wants to
the sentient missile.
Yeah, the sentient missile. This missile basically was in this town and just like could hear all the conversations around her, and pretty much appreciated the people in town, even though she wasn't able to communicate. She winds up communicating with the vault hunters on there and having a conversation. And basically, what she wanted is to see if she could actually shoot off again and complete her objective, which was to explode. So at the end, spoiler alert, you do shoot the missile off finally. After a lot of enemy interference, it kind of reminded me of a Destiny mission where, you got the ghost in, pretty much out there, but she was able to, you shoot her off and she exploded, and there was some nice little fireworks. And, I thought they really nailed some of the tone as far as the voice actress that did that particular side mission. And, I'm seeing where the writing's coming in a little bit. I think it's a little bit more mature than the prior games in the series. But obviously, it's like saying, like, okay, you got Porky's with some, like,
Porky's with Shakespeare.
Not with Shakespeare, but like a little bit better writing. How about that? So, but that's all I've been up to these last few weeks since we recorded. So,
all right, so that's going to push us on to what is always our main event. We don't have any main event questions for y'all to this episode. We're just going to remind you to please forward your questions to us either in our Discord or on our X and Blue Sky accounts. We check all three of those frequently, and if you submit a question to us on either one of those three platforms, we will address them in the following episode. So just definitely want to remind y'all of that. So with that said, we're going to move on to the news section. So we got the Jabroni gaming news for you. All right, Jabroni, you got it, man.
All right, thank you, Kev. Okay, first news story we want to talk about. It's been quite a few weeks since we recorded with Des being out of the country and whatnot. And one thing that everyone was talking about, and this happened back taking a look at the calendar, about maybe a week and a couple of days ago. Microsoft Game Studios and Halo Studios made an announcement, and basically what they're doing to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved is that they are working on a Unreal Engine 5 remaster of Halo 1. They're calling it Halo Campaign Evolved on here. So it's being rebuilt and modernized, so it's the original Halo campaign. It includes 2-player couch co-op and 4-player online crossplay. So the original game only supported 3 players online on there as far as being able to play together. And the game is coming out for Xbox consoles. It's coming out for PC, including Steam, and also coming out on PlayStation. So this kind of created a lot of hubbub out there in the social media land on there. Like even the White House for some reason got involved with talking about like the console war being over and whatnot, and that this was the kind of the tentpole game for Microsoft to kind of. A lot of people were saying that they feel like this is like the end of what Xbox was as a platform, and moving on to Microsoft Game Studios and Xbox as a third-party software provider, if need be. So, as far as the reaction to the game, I mean, I saw a lot of people commenting the fact that, that they're taking some liberties with the game a little bit. That, you're able to sprint in the game now, and that they felt like some of the level designs, especially in certain missions, that you were not able to take the Warthog up a particular path for a reason that the original developers at Bungie designed the original Halo that way, but they're kind of not really been cognizant of the fact of, why they design things the way they design things. But, in the end, I mean, you still have access to the original game. And so I think people out there, if they were craving what the original brought to the table, they could, fire up and emulate an Xbox and or play on the original Xbox and play the original Halo. There's also the Halo Anniversary Edition that came out for Xbox 360. That was made by another team on there. It's by, I'm trying to remember the name of the development team, but it was done by a separate company. It was outsourced on there. It's the same development team that did Spec Ops: The Line, if you remember. I think it's I'll look this up just to kind of make sure I'm remembering correctly. It's going to bother me on here. So I don't know if you know, Kev.
No.
It's made by Jaeger, so it's developed by Jaeger. So yeah, the PlayStation. I mean, the Halo Anniversary Edition was developed by Jaeger back in 2012 on there. So take a look at that. But in the end, I mean, I don't think the console war was per se. This is like the closing shot for the console war being dead. On there, Xbox is continuing to push through what they're doing. I mean, they said that they're going to release a next generation console, whether that's a console PC hybrid. That's a whole other thing in a nutshell. But and one thing they haven't made any comments on as far as Halo multiplayer. So Halo multiplayer right now is only on Xbox platforms and PC platforms. So we'll have to see if they do eventually bring some sort of multiplayer component to PlayStation at some point. But what's your overall feelings about Halo being announced for PlayStation and this remake, Kev?
This broke the bots. This broke them. It is. I think this entire, and I guess you can apply it to just about anything, whether you're talking about sports fans, whether you're talking about, the car community. When you attach a level of self-worth to a consumer product, it is going to break you at some point. And it's going to break an aspect of how you see yourself as a person. There are going to be studies about this type of behavior, if there aren't any already. I mean, I've seen channels doing like compilation videos of primarily, and I'm not calling them, these aren't Xbox fans. These are the zealots. These are the ones that like I said, attribute a level of their own self-worth to a consumer product. These are the guys that used to, video folks going to Best Buy, are now crashing out. And it's actually kind of, it's fascinating to watch. It's fascinating to listen to. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, and I get it. I mean, everybody picks a side in a hobby or in an interest. We just had the World Series play out, and there's a lot of people that are happy about how it turned out. There's a lot of people not happy about how it turned out. That kind of comes with any kind of fandom. But there's just something really interesting and odd about some of these folks, and it's on the PlayStation side. It's we got the ponies, we got the Nintendo drones, and we got the Xbots. It's just really weird how, like, man, I'm upset. I'm crying. I'm throwing my Xbox away. It's just weird. It's very weird. But had people actually paid attention to what Satya Nadella was saying, what Phil Spencer has been saying, what Sarah Bond, the newest high-ranking executive who's come into her role, I think she's the president of Xbox now, what she's saying, you could have seen this coming when they announced, what was it? Forza? Was Forza Horizon the first of the Xbox games to be announced to come to PlayStation, or was it Indiana Jones? I can't remember which one was
It was Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, right?
Okay. When Indiana Jones was announced at the Game Awards, which was the last thing announced, we have more information. When that was announced for PlayStation, right after Phil Spencer had said that they're not getting Indiana Jones. We've got 3 games, no more than that. And he was asked specifically as if Indiana Jones was one of them. He said no. When that was announced, whole slate coming. You didn't need to be an industry insider to figure that out. You didn't have to follow Matt Piscatella on X or Blue Sky to figure that out. You didn't need to read the financial reports to figure that out. It's just common sense. And I don't understand why this was such a shock. While you still had people going on their podcasts lying to people and saying, "Oh, folks are taking things out of context. This is an experiment. Phil Spencer knows what he's doing. Trust in the Spencezi." It just boggles my mind. It just boggles my mind, and I don't know. How, if I were an Xbox fan, if I was on Team Green instead of Team Blue, I would probably be feeling some type of way, but I would be I would have been made a move by now. I would have been looking at the other options available to me for my gaming and the future, in the future of where I'm going to invest my disposable income in this hobby. I would have made that decision a while. I would have made that decision a while ago. I would either move to PlayStation or I would have moved to PC, one or the other. I don't know why folks are now falling, going off the rails when a lot of these people were just straight up lying for clicks when the obvious was smacking them in the face. So
you don't know.
It's just kind of crazy. I haven't really followed as far as more Xbox-centric podcasts and or influencers about their takes on this, as far as Halo being on PlayStation. I hadn't thought about the Iron Lords podcast in quite a few months. I don't know how the King took it,
Oh, the cope. It's like, okay. I look at it. I will use myself as an example. Okay, I will use myself an example. If we wake up Monday morning and PlayStation announces that, hey, everything that we've got is going day and date over to PC, I'm going to be upset about it because I think that makes owning the console much less special.
Yeah, weaker.
It weakens your role as a console manufacturer because you have now given your consumer base another place to play. But guess what? I'm keeping my PlayStation because I hate gaming on PC. I have never liked gaming on PC. Does Steam make things a lot easier? Yes, it does. But my prior discussion on just trying to play 2XKO, PC gaming is not for me. I am not going to trade in the hundreds of games that I have between PS4 and PS5, digital and physical. I am not going to just toss all that shit on eBay and start all over again on another platform. I'm not.
I mean, Joe might do it for you.
I'm perfectly fine. Now, can I be critical of the decision? Yes. Can I say I think it's stupid? Yes. Can
Of
I say
course.
it's going to hinder their position in the market, and it makes owning future products with that label gives me less of an incentive to want to move, more people, a less incentive to move forward with newer hardware options when presented? Absolutely. But I ain't going anywhere because I ain't starting over. I've spent too much money, and this is where I'm invested. So that's different than like literally crashing out and literally saying, "Oh, Spencer lied to us," as if this man is your personal buddy. Like you sending Christmas cards to this cat. Like I he's an executive. He's doing what he's told. Satya is writing the checks now. Phil might have been in control at one time, but it's Satya is flying the plane, and Satya has a completely different viewpoint, completely different goal for Xbox and what he wants it to be in the future, and that is the play that's being run now. So, folks can either get on board or
Get to stepping.
find something else to do and play someplace else, because Satya's like, hey, if you're going to buy the game, I don't care where you play it. And I think that's stupid and crazy when you're manufacturing a console and then you're turning around and telling folks, hey, get ready to drop another $1,000 on the next console that we put out in a couple years. You've got a handheld that you claim to be an Xbox, which is anything but, based off the reviews I've seen. It's a PC. It's not an Xbox. It doesn't play your Xbox games that are not play anywhere. So if you've got a digital library of games that is not play anywhere, guess what? You ain't playing them on the Ally X unless you're going to rebuy them on Steam.
Some of them are not even on Steam. Some of the Xbox titles, I would love to play like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon somewhere, but basically, if I want to play those, I have to fire up and hook up my Xbox 360 because I don't have a Xbox One or Xbox Series console anymore. So,
and it's that wordsmith that Xbox marketing does that is so disingenuous, and it's. I'll just say it. It's a lie. You're lying to your consumer base by not giving them the full story. By not when Sarah Bond sat there with her cute self saying that you'll be able to play your Xbox games anywhere, she was lying. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. She was lying. And, you know, again, I have called the Xbox fan base kind of like being in an abusive relationship. It's not you, it's me. You know, I'll listen to what you tell me next time. And then when that thing comes back, the next decision comes down the pike and it doesn't suit you as the consumer that you are, instead of just making the decision to move elsewhere, you just roll over and not only take it, but then co-sign the dumbass decision that came down the pike and try to act like it's a good thing. And if you are any kind of influencer of any type, you go on your podcast or your YouTube channel or your Twitch channel and you co-sign and make excuses for that same decision that deep in your own soul is not what you want from this particular product that you've enjoyed in the past. That's where I have my issue.
Well, one thing you gotta say is Halo Studios, the creative director that was on that stream, they announced this while it was a esports event for Halo on there, and they announced it basically between matches on there, and they broke out. The creative director broke out a PlayStation shirt, and you could,
that broke him. That broke him.
yeah,
I saw some of the Twitter posts when that happened, and it was like
Yes.
betrayal. You piece of shit. You simp. Oh man, the hostility that just poured out on that man who was probably told to do that. I don't think he decided to do that. To me, I think he was told to do that.
and
That poor man.
Also the marketing too, because basically once they made this announcement, it went live on PlayStation Blog. PlayStation released a trailer of Halo Campaign Evolve with the PlayStation bumper at the front, and they announced that Halo's coming to PlayStation. So it was very, very prominent. In fact, there's this one PlayStation influencer I follow on YouTube, Mystic. He actually got an interview with the Halo developers on YouTube, and he put a video up like literally the same weekend. So they planned all this out, and they're reaching out to the PlayStation community, and PlayStation community has actually been pretty open for Microsoft games. I mean,
Sea of Thieves, why wouldn't be? Why wouldn't they be?
Mm-hmm.
They get free games.
You're getting to eat at both sides of the aisle, basically.
Right?
At the beginning of this console generation, you had to make a decision. Do I go Xbox or do I go PlayStation?
You got to do that no more?
Yeah. So I just consider this whole thing interesting. I'll have to see as far as if Halo Campaign Evolve gets some legs and people enjoy the campaign and kind of go from there. But this is the beginning of Halo on PlayStation, and
I just want to know what's going to happen to the multiplayer.
No multiplayer yet. Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering what's going to happen with the multiplayer. Will it be cross-platform? Will it be?
No, there's no multiplayer. The multiplayer in Campaign Evolve will be cross-platform, but that's just a 4-player co-op campaign with that particular Halo 1 remake on here. There is no multiplayer portion of this game coming into PlayStation next year. So unless they port Halo Master Chief Collection to PlayStation, you're not going to see any multiplayer. And who knows if they do or not. Hopefully they do.
I predict they will do like a Halo 2 remake or remaster. And with that, that's when the multiplayer is going to come to PlayStation. I think that's a future announcement coming down the pike, because they have a whole series of Halo games that they can resell to PlayStation owners or PlayStation centric people who maybe only borrowed the game a little bit played a little bit at the friend's house. They're going to get a whole remake, remaster, and the multiplayer is going to come with Halo 2.
I can't wait. I can't wait to play it. I'll play it at Joe's house. Let's go, Joe.
Anytime, because I did dabble with the Master Chief Collection while I had my Xbox, and so I put the Master Chief Collection on my Steam wish list. And it's something to where I know it's gone on sale in the past for $10. I think $10 for all the Halo games is a good get. So I'm just kind of waiting in the weeds, and we'll see if I talk about playing Halo on my PC in the next 6 months to a year before this Campaign Evolve comes out in 2026. So
that's sad.
All right. Other news. Capcom announced some of their sales numbers on here, and basically this is the sales figures for the 3 months that just ended on September 30th, 2025. One thing that a lot of people were looking at the sales figures on here is that Monster Hunter Wilds only sold 160,000 units during that period on here. They sold a ton of Devil May Cry 5 due to the anime on Netflix on here. They sold literally like 2 million copies of Devil May Cry 5. I think because it was on a heavy discount on PC too, that basically they were, selling out of that particular title. But yeah, they only sold 144,000 copies of Monster Hunter Wilds in the last 3 months. And so I kind of want to point it out to you guys that a lot of people felt that Wilds was a disappointment on there. And I deleted the game off my PlayStation 5. I'm done with Wilds as far as I know. I mean, I know that the Final Fantasy 14 cross campaign just came out a few weeks ago. I was interested in it, but not interested enough to load up the game again and fire it up and kind of take it from there. And so I'm asking both of you, I mean, if a G rank comes out for Monster Hunter Wilds, are you going to be there day one, or is this something where you're going to have to really think about it?
For me, I mean, 100%, just to be completely honest with you, long-term Monster Hunter fan, long-term Monster Hunter, player. And I don't know. I don't know if they lost the plot with it or what, but, and don't get me wrong. I know people are going to say, it's not that it wasn't difficult. It's not that it wasn't engaging. It just, well, I guess that was it. It wasn't engaging. Like, I don't know. There was something about it. The loop just wasn't there. The innovation for it just wasn't there. And to be completely honest, it did feel it felt a little easy. And please, and I know people are going to say, well, you didn't play long enough, or you're not playing the S rank, or you're not playing this. I'm not talking about that. Just to play through the game itself, it didn't feel like there was enough newness in it to make me want to play it, and it just felt like there was such a leap to Monster Hunter World from the past that it felt fresh, it felt new, it felt great. And then you had the one that came out for the Switch. That was which one, Joe?
Monster Hunter Rise.
Rise.
I really liked Rise a lot.
Yeah. In fact, Rise was great, and I think those two back to back really kind of like encapsulated what I was looking for in a Monster Hunter game. One from a handheld perspective, because I played handheld, and the one from like a much more accessible type of thing. But I think it just got a bit too accessible. Like, it's weird. It's like it felt like it got too rote. Like, I wanted a little bit more hunting, it just, like, it felt like I would go out and I would do something, and it was just easy to find the monster. It's easy to kind of like tell what to do, how to fight. Like the weapons, they usually do some sort of change up with the weapons and how you can use your weapons and stuff like that. And while there was a little bit of changes, it wasn't enough to kind of verify what the new stuff was going on, I guess. I don't know. It just, there was something, it just felt like there was a fundamental piece of that Monster Hunter spark that was missing. And I
like, you were able to mount the monsters so easily in this game versus past Monster Hunters as well.
It felt like the game had training wheels on, and it's like, I've been playing Monster Hunter for so long that I didn't need training wheels, and I felt everything just felt it didn't feel fresh, it didn't feel innovative, it didn't feel new, it didn't feel exciting. Nothing about the game made me feel super exciting. I don't know.
It's like they made a sequel to Elden Ring and made it streamlined and accessible for the entire family or something. So
yeah, and I don't know. It just everything. I don't know about you all, but I felt, and maybe it's because I was playing Rise for so long, I thought everything felt huge in the game. Like, everything was, by huge, I mean your character model, where you were running, it felt like everything in the game was like sized up. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the field of view for the game. It felt like everything was zoomed in, and I don't know. I don't know. It was a disappointment for me, and I've been trying to not say much about anything, 'cause I know people really love it, and Monster Hunter has a long history, and especially with us, but this wasn't it. I don't know. Like, they either need to, for the next one, because there's going to be another one. That's like a given. They need to bring back swimming, or really like try to knock it out of the park with some innovation, because right now that was not it. That was not it. And I am not surprised that it has faltered as much as it has. And that crossover with Final Fantasy, Like, I know that was supposed to bring folks in, but that wasn't it. I think there's just something fundamentally wrong with the gameplay of this game, and I don't think that this iteration of it can fix it. I don't know what can fix it. I don't know what. I just found it incredibly boring. I found it incredibly boring, and I just did not want to go back to it.
Hopefully this expansion, once they do G rank, will spice it up a bit, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'll go back to it because of the fact that it is Monster Hunter. But part of me is thinking, like, I barely touched Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on there, so I was thinking about if I do want to get a Monster Hunter itch, that might be on my radar. And then also, I'm really super hyped for Monster Hunter Stories 3 as well. They just had some more trailers for that game. That game's coming out in March of 2026, and that's basically an RPG, but it looks great. So,
The other thing they need to do is they need to do something about the optimization. It is a funky mess on PC. Even folks that are running 5090s, it is choppy and blocky, and some artifacting and screen tearing and frame skipping is going on. It makes no sense there. On a console, it never ran great. It never really ran smooth, but it was okay. But I think the other hill that they're going to have to address, and I don't think it can be addressed in this game, I think Monster Hunter Rise is an example of what happens when you start trying to cater to the majority when it was the niche that got you where you are. Monster Hunter Rise it's too easy. And this is coming from somebody who despised the first iterations of Monster Hunter because I tried them. And I'm like, nah, I ain't running around for 2 hours to collecting shit. I'm tired of getting knocked around because I have to sharpen my. That ain't for me. It wasn't until World came out that I understood. Which it wasn't that I didn't understand the appeal of Monster Hunter. I always did. The idea of going around and hunting big ass monsters, that's right in my wheelhouse. I just didn't like the mechanics surrounding it. It wasn't for me. I don't think it was a bad series, but at all. But no, that ain't for me. I'm the hack and slash, kill everybody, kill everything type of dude. I don't want to have to go hunt for resources and hunt for all this other stuff before I get to the stuff I really want to do. That's not the type of gamer I am. But it wasn't until World, and I think World was the perfect blend for people like me who understood that the resource gathering was just going to be part of the game, but it wasn't so hardcore that it was overbearing. But Rise just took most of that out of the equation. I really didn't do any kind of research. I just went and fought monsters, and I got all the crap that I needed to move to forge the next weapon, or forge the next piece of armor, or forge the next whatever. The bow was like it was just like hold square to win. And there were several other weapons that were like that, from what I understand. It was just way too easy, and I think this is what happens when you start trying to cater to folks that really weren't interested in your product to begin with. And you sterilize the loop down to the point where it just feels like any other game.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what happens with Monster Hunter. I'm hoping the S rank will kind of bring everyone back, and I'm pretty sure you two would probably check it out. Maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth on there, but
I still have my copy. I don't plan on getting rid of it.
No, me either. No, I still have it. So I just was digging around, looking at the reaction to the Final Fantasy 14 content, and they said, I guess the particular boss from Final Fantasy 14 that they just placed in the wilds is like hard as freaking nails. So maybe they are listening to everyone out there. So we'll have to see. So all right, next thing I want to bring up, and the last big major news topic of this episode. I've been paying attention a little bit more to a lot of the rumors and other channels. I've been really listening to a lot of the information from Moore's Law is Dead, the YouTube channel on here. They basically, if you're not familiar with that YouTube channel or the particular group that's behind that particular podcast, they kind of dig and get a lot of information from sources, from classified sources, from within companies themselves and whatnot. And, these are the people that have been really adamant about talking about the next chip that's going to be in the PlayStation 6. And it's talking about Sony's collaboration with AMD. They recently had a video with Mark Cerny and the president of AMD where they were talking about the future of games as far as graphical fidelity and what PlayStation is working on with AMD on here. So, and they've been talking about, because the PlayStation 6 is going to have two SKUs. There's going to be the main console SKU, and there's going to be a handheld on here. And they have particular code names as well. So, and they were talking about the specs of the PlayStation 6 handheld. So the PlayStation 6 handheld, based on leaked AMD documents, they said that the portable unit can be docked, and they basically said that the PS6 handheld has a CPU that's much faster than the Switch 2. It also has the same number of compute units as the Xbox ROG Ally X, but a wildly better RDNA architecture. It also has about 50% wider memory bus with faster RAM. With quick math, they found that PS6 and the handheld in dock mode should run about 3 times faster than a Nintendo Switch 2.
What?
Yep. And they also stated that the PS6 handheld still has massive performance gains over the Switch 2, even while played portable. So
Lies.
If we look at the scratch math in handheld mode, I would still suggest that the PS6 will be almost twice as fast as the Nintendo Switch 2 in dock mode on here. So according to the podcast channel, that Sony has a major disadvantage, as the PS6 portable will be using AMD FSR 5 on there. So
there you go. See? Horrible. Can't trust it.
Get out of here. I was going to basically bring this up because of the fact that, right now as it stands, there's going to be a PS6 where it's going to be come in a console form and a portable form. And I wanted to kind of talk about the upcoming PlayStation 6, because I wanted to get kind of how you guys are feeling about it. Are you going to be buying the console box only? Or are you going to be buying the portable only? Or are you going to be buying both? Another thing to kind of put a wrinkle on this too is that there's another news story saying that the PS6 is going to have a external hard drive option, meaning that the PS6 is not going to come with a hard drive built in, but that you're able to buy the external hard drive like you did, external disk drive like you did with the PlayStation 5 Pro, and be able to buy a disk drive if you want to, put it on into your PS6. So.
What are you going to do, Joe? I want to hear your thoughts first.
Well, my thoughts basically is because the fact that I have a significant PlayStation 6 library.
PlayStation 5, you mean?
I have a PlayStation library. So it's this PlayStation 6 is going to play PS4 and 5 games natively on there, and also play PS6 games. So I don't know if I'm going to buy the handheld right away or not. I have to take a look at the kit. I do kind of like having portable systems, but I don't know if I have a good use case to have the handheld on top of having the console. I'm definitely going to buy the console, though. I could tell you that right now on there. But, the thing about the PS6 portable is that going to be like a Portal. It's going to be able to play games natively on the actual device. And so, more than likely, I would probably break down and buy the portable. It just depends on what the price is and if I could figure out a good use case scenario for it. So,
for me, after hearing all that, for me, number one, I have to see what it looks like. Actually see what it looks like, because I'm definitely a form guy. I like seeing what the thing looks like, and after seeing that, then I would decide on price. How expensive is it going to be? And by that I mean, because point blank, I'm probably going to buy the console. I know myself, and I know that I am used to playing a PlayStation as a console first. And then after the console, I would look at, for the handheld, I would look at how it looks, so the form factor. Then I would look at the price. What is the price of it? And then I have to decide what games are. Then I have to look at what games are going to come out, because if they're playing the games natively, my thought is, if I can play the same games handheld and on the console, I'm just going to use it as a console. I don't think that I need to have both. I don't think like you were getting into the territory where we're double dipping on the console and not the game. So I'm a little concerned, about double dipping on a console. I don't know if I could verify, or I don't know if I can justify that expenditure.
according to Moore's Law is dead.
What was that?
I'm going to say, because I've listened to the podcast, it was like maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That they're looking at all the parts that are included in both the PS6 portable and the PS6 console on here. So they're saying that the PS6 handheld, in their mind, is going to cost around $549. That's their estimate. Their estimate for a PS6 console itself, they're thinking it's going to be around $600 to possibly $799 if Sony's being greedy. So, and then as far as, there's even talk that there's a possibility that they're going to take the PS6 handheld and release it as a lower spec console box like the Xbox Series S.
See,
and if
that would
they
be
do,
stupid.
Yeah, that's too many.
That would be stupid, because reason that the Series X got hamstrung was because of the Series S.
Yeah,
that was the console that most people bought. That was the one that had the split RAM. That was the one that had the bad bus. That was the one that was causing all the issues with third-party games. Remember, what was it? Baldur's Gate 3. Phil Spencer tried to throw them under the bus, saying, "Well, they can't, they can't get the couch co-op to work. There's no reason why it shouldn't work on the Series X." And the developer had to come out and say, "You guys," in much more nicer terms, said, "You guys engineered some shit hardware in the Series S. It's a problem. Now, do you want this game or do you not want this game?"
Pretty much.
So if PlayStation wants to hamstring the PlayStation 6 with lower spec hardware that plays the same games, they'd be absolutely retarded to do so. Absolutely retarded to do so. Hopefully the handheld will stream PlayStation 6 games and play its own games natively. That would be the ideal situation.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's a power saving mode that they introduced with PlayStation 5 software. It's basically only for first party games right now, but there's no really use case scenario to run your games at a less more efficient, like use less power mode on there. This is them dipping their toes as far as getting the PlayStation 5 software to run on the PlayStation 6 portable, basically, is what this mode is. So they are baking into the actual system itself to be able to run the PS6 games natively on the on the portable, running at a lower wattage, scaling down to the GPU, CPU that's in the handheld device. And so it's going to basically play the same game on there. So they're not going to release separate games for the PS6 handheld. They are going to be games that are going to basically be played on both. Yeah. Another thing we don't know yet as far as how is the portable going to authenticate that you own the physical disc on the PS6 version of the game, or if you're playing PS4 and PS5 games. Like, say, if I want to play a game I own on disc, like, say, Borderlands 4, for instance, how am I going to be able to verify? They have to have some sort of possibly a check of some sort that I have maybe the disc inserted into my PlayStation 6 to be able to use it on the portable or get a license for it.
You're kind of defeating the purpose if you do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they're going to work that, or I don't think they're going to leave it to where you're going to have to buy the same game that you bought on disc digitally to be able to play it on PS6 handheld. So that's going to be the big thing that they're going to have a solution for, and it's going to have to be to where it's going to be easy for everyone to be able to determine basically how they could do that. So,
what they're going to have to do. And I'm not a programmer. I'm not a systems engineer, but I'm just talking off, just pulling something out of my butt. You load the game and you load the disc into your PlayStation. You turn on your portable, connect the two. It says, "Oh, I see you've got this disc in your PlayStation. Do you own it? Yes. Okay, I'm downloading it to the portable, and it's just going to be part of your library." It's going to be it's going to have to be some type of variation of the honor system.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds crazy in this world of, GameFly and borrowing games and pirating games. But if you want to make this transition as easy as possible on the consumer, it's going to have to be something like that. I don't see how you can have, I want to play Tekken, but I have it on physical. I don't want to have to buy it again. So the only physical game that I can play has to be in my PlayStation at the time I turn on my portal. That just sounds silly.
I'm thinking now, in hindsight, thinking about it right now, and it might kind of work the same way as the PS4 to PS5 upgrades that you're able to do. Like, you're able to go into the store and purchase the PS5 upgrade, throw it in your cart, and you're able to download the PS5 version of the game. One thing with the console, though, you have to make sure to authenticate to leave the disc into the console to be able to play the downloadable version of that game. And so, hopefully they do come up with something that is easy for everyone to follow and kind of go from there. So.
Even that is shady because I'm getting penalized for having my games on physical media.
No, because it would be a free upgrade. So, like, say,
if it's free, then it's kind of like the same
thing. Yeah,
it's the same thing, but you're going to it's going to have to be some aspect of the honor system because if you do anything if you do any other way, you're just going to piss off your consumer base. What do you mean I have to pay $5 extra to play this game that I have on physical on a PlayStation product? That doesn't make any sense. So they're going to have to tread carefully here. And I think it's just going to have to be a situation where we're just going to have to trust people on the honesty system. I got the physical disc. I throw it in my console. The portable picks it up. Okay, you have access to this game permanently on your handheld now. It's got to be that simple.
I just don't know how I feel about the not having a disk drive. I mean, I guess that's the wave of the future, but But
I don't
that's
have
just,
a problem with it. I definitely do not have a problem with it because digital it has grown. It is succeeded physical in game purchases.
yeah,
So I understand why they're doing that. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to be Captain Physical for as long as it exists. As long as because I'm okay with digital, but if I have my druthers, I'd rather own my game. I'd rather see the game, be able to look up either at my
yeah,
shelf or open my CD case and see those games that I've purchased because that gives me a greater sense of ownership. But this generation that's here now and coming up, they don't give a rip about that.
they do not.
So I understand why they're making it a choice. So people that are physical collectors like myself, I don't mind paying a little bit extra so I can get a disc drive. I get
Okay.
it.
You'll save in the end.
Dinosaurs got a dinosaur.
Eh,
You'll save in the end because you'll be able to get the physical game on sale, or on clearance or whatnot. So I like going to the store and looking at the box art and be able to pick something off the shelf if I want to and be able to buy it. So why would me and Desmond fly over to Japan and not get the thrill of going into various game stores and buying games off the shelf?
yeah, that would suck, sir. I mean, you'll still have retro games and shit like that, but
Yeah, I think this gen, hopefully, PlayStation will still have a physical presence for PS6 on here. So, but I'm gonna have to see what the portable is and kind of make my value decision from there. Blech, excuse my, got hung up. But Kev, are you? I'm assuming you're going to be console and no handheld, right?
I just don't have a use case for a handheld. I had a Steam Deck. It didn't do what I wanted to use it for. I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted it to. I wanted it to be like an emulator to play arcade games. That was a disaster. That was just an exercise in frustration for me. I thought about just holding on to it and just using it as a way to play my Steam games. But where I'm at with my career, I just don't have that much downtime. I had much more downtime when I was working a different department, in which, I mean, that's actually how I finished Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. I played it pretty much exclusively on my breaks and lunch at work. That does not exist for me now. So I just don't have a use case for a handheld. So I'm going to be rolling with the set-top box for sure. I would be curious about the handheld just from an interest of how it operates, how it works. Is it going to saddlebag PS6 performance like the Series S did with the Series X? If they can figure out a way to keep that from happening, I would be interested in it from a tech perspective. But as a product that I would need to own, and no, I'm probably just going to pass on that. I just don't have a use for it.
How about you, Des? Is this something where you want to play some PlayStation on the couch while you're watching TV with Paul, or?
as I said before, I probably will not be doing that. I'll probably be getting I'm so used to buying it as a set top as a console that I just have no desire to see it as a handheld.
Got it. Okay.
But again, I don't know though.
You listeners, let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are on PlayStation 6, whether you're going to buy it portably and just get the portable system and play it docked, or are you going to go out and get the console and enjoy the console for itself, or buy both. So let us know what your opinions are on it, and we'll definitely talk about it in a future episode. So. All right, and then I do have some release dates and announcements to kind of go over before the Jabroni Gaming News is concluded for this fine episode. One thing that caught my eye here is that Japanese media company Idia has gained the license for Battle Arena Toshinden. So the old Takara banger from the PS1 days. I don't know about banger, but it's going to basically celebrate the 30th anniversary of the first Battle Arena Toshinden, and they are accelerating its efforts to commercialize a wide range of retro game IP. It's going to release Toshinden, Toshinden 2, and Toshinden 3 on modern day consoles. So they are going to port the game. They're targeting the release between fiscal year 2026 and 2027 on there. We'll have to see how well it's received. I remember buying Battle Arena Toshinden day one when the PS1 came out. And I went back to Software Etc. and I returned it within 24 hours. Reason why is because after I played it, it's like, it was, PlayStation's answer to Virtua Fighter at the time.
And you were like, no, thank you.
It couldn't hold Virtua Fighter's water. It's like, it couldn't do nothing. I mean, I pretty much went back. And this is this retailer that allowed you to return used games within 30 days. So imagine all the little jabronis from back in the day that basically used the return policy as a rental agreement,
Oh yeah, I remember little jabronis who did that.
Yeah, on there, but we'll have to see if there's any peaks. I remember I bought Battle Arena Toshinden 2 because I wanted to see what it brought to the table. I actually imported it from NCS of all people, and I actually enjoyed that game quite a bit. So kind of gave me some bloody roar feelings as far as Toshinden 2. I like Toshinden 2. And Kev, have you messed with either of the Toshindens, all three of them?
I had Battle Arena Toshinden. I liked it. I wasn't necessarily in love with it, but I thought it was fun. Toshinden 2 was a much better sequel, in my opinion. Both games had cheap ass characters. That's the one I like. I'm looking at the article. The chick with the kunai, cheap as hell. Battle Arena Toshinden 2, the dude with the guns, cheap as hell. So, I think it was a fun fighter, but it was, I don't even know if, I guess part of the marketing may have been part of, this is our response to Virtua Fighter. I don't ever feel that that was ever the real purpose behind the game. I think at the time, like, Tekken was so big in arcades, and I can't remember if Namco Bandai had already made the decision to utilize aspects of the PlayStation hardware in their in their version of Tekken, but 3D was just so new, and it was just so crazy. I was still Captain 2D when it came to fighting games. It's like I thought it was okay, but I want my hand drawn raster graphics. Miss me with these polygons. So I thought it was fun, but I was never just overly enamored with it.
Well, we'll have to see. It's not coming out for quite a bit of time. Who knows? Maybe I'll fire up and play some Toshinden 2 on a emulator or something, just to reconnect with the game. Haha.
Have some fun, Joe.
You got it. And who's going to be having fun? It's going to be Kevin, because Atari announced the Intellivision Sprint to come out. So it's basically a new console for Intellivision. It's like a mini console that has 45 games on it. So, and it's going to come with the overlays as well. 2 controllers that are wireless. It's going to be priced at $149.99. It also is available. You could insert like a flash drive in the back and load other Intellivision titles onto the device, just in case if the game that's on this console is not included that you want to play. You could go and do that. So it's going to have 45 classic Intellivision games built in, including baseball, soccer, sea battle, space battle, Astro Smash, Star Strike, and Boulder Dash on there. So I'm going to kick it over you to Kevin. I mean, what's your overall feeling once they announced this?
I'm interested in it. I definitely like the idea. I think from a novelty perspective, I wish it would play the cards. I understand why it doesn't, because I know a lot of people who are into retro, particularly within television. They still play their cards, though their boxes are not sitting on a shelf collecting dust. If they have access to working consoles, their carts are being utilized. And I think that would have been a nice little nod to collectors, myself included in that. I'm going to I'm going to get it. I'm going to pick it up. I I'm interested and curious and waiting for the levels of frustration to get ROMs to run on this thing, because I don't when shit don't work when it comes to tech for me, I get easily frustrated and I'm just ready to just throw it all out the window. That's kind of why I wish it would run the cartridges natively, but I understand why it doesn't. So I'll probably be looking at YouTube videos. I've got a Kinhang drive that has an Intellivision section on it. I'm going to have to crank it up and see what games are on there, look at the files and see what's on there. If they're on there, I would just transfer them directly from the Kinhang over to this. But my question is, and what I would really be interested in, I don't think it's going to, is if it could run the ROMs for the Intellivision Amico. I don't know if it will or not. That was something that I'm kind of curious about, because the Amico is really what I was hoping the next Intellivision would be. I really like the games that had been announced, and I mean, come to find out that 90% of them were just freeware assets that were thrown into a game, and the whole thing was fake. And I was one of the early supporters of that. I believe Tommy Tallarico's lies, but I pulled out when it was clear that this was some bullshit. I was able to get my money back. I'm one of the few who apparently was, but yeah. As someone to which the Intellivision is near and dear to my gamer heart, I'll be picking this up for sure.
Good deal. And another game that's coming around in December that has caught our eye and we talked about before, Marvel Cosmic Invasion has a release date. It's coming out on December 1st. It's coming out for everything under the sun: Switch 2, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. So, and they, along with the release date announcement, they announced that both Phoenix and the Invincible Iron Man are going to be playable characters in the game. So, on there. And, I know they recently had a demo in the Steam Next Fest that just concluded a couple weeks ago. And I think all three of us are going to be there day one for this bad boy. So,
yeah, looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yep. So, definitely let us know out there if you're interested in playing with us, because especially if it supports online co-op.
Probably will. Can't imagine it won't.
Yeah, I think we'll be there in it to win it. So, all right, and that concludes the Jabroni Gaming News for this episode.
All right, game nights will take place at least 24 hours before the actual game night. We're kind of keeping that sort of up in the air, and we're just waiting to hear from both our community members and waiting for our schedules, because our schedules kind of change week to week. We're three working adults, and it's not always the easiest thing to get these things going. So we will be posting our game night updates on our Discord, as well as other social media. So you might be wondering, how do you jump into our Discord? That's really the best way to communicate with us. And that's easy. All you do is head over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X,
X.
or Blue Sky, and you head over to at Gaming Vessels, GAMINGVESSELS. You click the link in the bio, and you are in. So we don't have any merch to hawk to you, and we don't have a Patreon tier list for you to pay for. We just ask that you just be a nice person, likes playing and talking about games. You will have a community that will be more than happy to play games with you, discuss those games. I think you will find a very welcome home, a very welcoming place aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So, folks, that's going to bring episode 293 to a close. Want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out without a doubt. So, for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. That Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonef71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back next week, episode 294 for your earpiece. Peace. And here, Grease.